This one goes out to all the coincidence theorists. Coincidence theorists. Sorry, you don't have to associate with any pejoratives that I may be wielding. Uh, but boy, oh boy, there's a lot of them out there, I tell you what. All right, so for all you coincidence theorists, there is a lot going on in plain sight. The term steganography was used by that concept was used by the Greeks. This is ancient. This goes way back. This has been going on in front of your granddaddy's eyes. This is on in front of your granddaddy's eyes. This goes way back, y'all. So, steganography comes from two words. Steganos means hidden. Graphia means written, writing. In Greek, they called it a page within a page. And if you needed to communicate in plain sight, you could use steganography to convey boatloads of information in a very concise manner. A single misspelling on a page is oftentimes intentional. And that is your gateway, your entrance, your induction into another level of reasoning. And for those who know what they're seeing, a whole nother world opens up, hidden in plain sight. So a lot of people get upset to find out that the words that they thought they knew the meaning has more meaning underneath those layers of what they thought they knew. But this kind of knowledge will bring out your right brain. It'll bring forward the other half of the knowing the things you didn't even know you knew. Because Lord knows there's a lot of not knowing what we don't even know we don't know. So, here we go. We're going to deal with some gematria. This is the tree of knowledge. That's the tria, the triad. We're going to eventually, next clip, we're going to get into vortex math, the sacred use of the number 3 and its significance. And I'll probably be going into the Enneagram, but that's all to be continued. I found a couple words here that blew my mind when I laid out their gematriological harmonic frequency and found out that in 6 different ciphers, the word solar and the word cathode are of perfect harmony, perfect harmonic frequency with each other when you put them through a gematriological cipher. That has been done in Greek, it's been done in Hebrew, and it's been done in Roman for many generations past, and you're a fool card if you think that it's not being done today. So, then the solar and cathode, we see certain numbers consistently. 7 and 2. 7 and 2. And 7 and 2, that relates to the sacred pentagram. We're dealing with Pythagoreans. When we go back to Greece, to ancient times, they had, they called gematria, they called it isopsophy. Isopsophy. And I'm pretty sure that relates to the word Sophia, is wisdom. And they were very into math, and as are the Hebrews. And the Romans, man, they sure love their banking, So, solar and cathode are a perfect harmonic match across the board. And you're going to have to do some legwork to find out what a lot of these numbers mean. 29 is Saturnian, definitely Saturnian. 56 here, we're looking at that 56 of the minor arcana. 6 and 5. This is the as above, so below concept. It brings forth the 2 pillars. And here we have the solar pillar, the lunar pillar expressed And the perfection of this is quite mind-boggling. I'm yet to find any writing that's been done on the significance of this. But the moon is an anode. And when you look at the math, anode and moon have perfect harmonic frequency across 6 different ciphers. And we see the 3 and the 6. The 3s and the 6. You know, a lot of people would say this is, all this math is the devil's work. Well, it's your language. You're speaking it. You better know what you're dealing with, because the people who gave you your language, they were speaking on a level that goes way back to the ancients, to the elders and the elders' elders. So show some damn respect. Pythagoreans. A lot of people, you know, they talk about serpent cults. You know, and Pythagoras being Python, and they didn't consider it evil in their time. So be careful how you project your cultural timeline onto the past. Just be careful. There's a lot of beautiful wisdom to be acknowledged. You don't have to worship it, but acknowledge it. You know, own it. Don't let it own you. So you can see I've laid out a lot of the different patterns. Here we've got the 2 and the 1, 2 and the 1 expressed many times over. Here we have they're inverted, the 21 and the 12. We saw that in the Avengers nonsense. You know, 12 is the months. We're talking about months. The moon cycle. And 3 and 6, that gives us the circle, the 36. 2 and 7, 72, that gives us the pentagram. So what comes from this is Pythagorean consistency. And you can call it coincidence if you want, but you're not going to get very far with that theory. So we've got that 36 with the moon, the sphere, and we've got the 72, which is a star. The sun is a star. The moon is a sphere. So we have the moon pillar and the solar pillar going on right in front of our face. So another layer of consistency that I discovered while I was looking into this was when I looked up, what is a cathode? What is an anode? I had to get into some learning about electricity and how it works, negative and positive. It was actually very confusing. Do not skim over it. Read it a few times if you have to. I had to. I'm not afraid to admit it. And I learned that anions and ions act very similar, but they have their inversive counterpart. Anions come from the cathode and move towards the anode, and ions move from the anode and are received by the cathode. And you have to read it a couple times to see that different people will describe it differently. That the positive is here and the negative is here, but if you're thinking about the anions, it flips. So you've got that polarity. Polarity. The 2 pillars. In the matrix, there were 2 pills. The red pill or the blue pill. And one will put you to sleep. One will wake you up. And there's no going back once you wake up. So like I said, folks, welcome to the deep end. We're dealing with the apotheosis of Neo. You know, that moment when he thought he was dead and then he came back and now he can see through the walls and he sees that there's numbers going in 2 directions in the walls. You know, that actually ties into something I'm going to cover later. Bidirectional text. 2-directional reading. And like we said, you know, the solar pillar goes towards the east. And the lunar pillar has that westward orientation. Life, death. Full circle, y'all. Full circle. So a lot of people get, in here, you know, this is the chalice and the blade. We're dealing with the 2 pillars yet again, metaphorically. This would be the anode. This would be the cathode. They fit. How do we do this? They fit together. This is universal truth. This is gender. Gender is a part of the Hermetic order. Look at the 7 truths of the Hermetic logos. There is much to be appreciated and nothing to fear. Knowledge over vengeance, y'all. 3 days in the underworld. 3 times 24, that gives you 72. 6 feet of social distancing. 6 feet buried in the earth. 6 times 12, that gives you 72 feet. 72 inches. Excuse me. So, I mentioned previously that on Golgotha, Christ was crucified. And above him there were signs written in 3 different languages. And in fact, he's even in different books of the Bible, there's very slight discrepancies in the claims of what was written on these signs above him. But there were 3 languages, Greek, Hebrew, Roman, written on the cross. 24 letters in Greek, 22 letters in Hebrew, 26 letters in Roman. Add them up, you get 72 letters total, 72 characters. On a scribe's desk, there will be 3 dictionaries. A Greek dictionary translating into Hebrew and Roman, a Hebrew dictionary translating into Greek and Roman, a Roman dictionary translating into Hebrew and Greek. Those were the tripartite Rosetta Stone of transcribing information before we had that there internet y'all are looking at. So we can also, I've mentioned this all before, the Septuagint. The Septuagint was the Pharaoh wanted to know the words, wanted to know the Lord of the Hebrews. So he brought the 12 tribes, he had them put forward 6 rabbi from the 12 tribes, and he put them all in separate locations and said, give me the word of your Lord. They all came out with the Septuagint. The Septuagint. 72 agents came out with the exact same scripture. I challenge you to get 72 to get 72 of your friends to send the same email 72 times with cut and paste today, and see how lucky you are if it comes out the same after 72 cut and pastes. So here we have the 360, that's the 36, the full circle, divided by the 72, that gives us the pentagram, the pentagon, the shield of Captain America. These Pythagoreans are calling the shots on a very high level. And if you know what they're putting in front of your eyes, it won't be so scary. So these are these 3 numbers are that's how you know you're dealing with sacred numerology. These are the angles of the pentagram. Excuse me. And there was a section of the Pythagorean order that temple that they were not allowed to progress through that gate if they did not have mastery of geometry. And so we are dealing with the masters of wisdom. And that's why our language is handed down with this sacred consistency. So I just wanted to point out, when you add 7 and 2, you get 9, 3 and 6, you get 9, 1 and 8, you get 9. That is Greek. That is a Greek system of identifying perfect truth. It actually is a good way to have consistent spelling. A lot of sacred words in Greek, the gematria would add up to 9. And if you spelled it wrong, you knew you'd do the math to check your own spelling. Consistency, hallmark of truth, y'all. So look up in a dictionary. Maybe find an old book off the shelves. You may not find this on the internet, but the word order, I told you it means public quiet. When a judge slams that there hexen hammer, then he is telling you to shut up, public. But the word order also is defined as any of 9 heavenly realms. And funny thing about that word any is in Greek, ania means 9. So when I tell you that, these sacred numbers add up to 9, that has everything to do with the fact that this knowledge comes from Greece, from the ancients, from isopsophy. Not an easy word to say, I tell you what. So Let's talk about E equals mc squared. I know that there's consistency and truth in this formula. I know that it's used to make airplanes fly. I know that's legitimate science, but I'm going to take it into numerology and I'm going to show you a little more truth behind it. E is the fifth letter. So here we have a body at rest, the energy of a body at rest. Look at how the capital E takes 5 segments to write it out. 5 equal segments. And when you rearrange those, you get the pentagram. E equals mc squared. Well, M is the 13th letter. This is ordinal. You add the 1 and the 3, you get a 4. C, that's the 3rd letter in any gematria. You square it, you get the 9. 49. Right there, we're actually dealing with Venus. Venus is the 7 by 7 magic square. Look that up. That's a whole nother video. So you multiply the 4 by the 9 and you get 36. 36 is and always will be the number of a circle. 360 degrees. Perfect circle. E equals perfect circle. Einstein was in quite a few clubs, and that's no secret. So I just wanted to point out, look up the word enion in a gematrinator, a gematria calculator, and you will find some consistency right there. I tell you what. Much love, everybody. Keep your head up.